Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, celebrating. We're applying the IDEANCE process, step 6, celebrate from the process we came up with upside down in January, celebrate to supersizing and growing our business. We're using it in both the Be a Better You annual challenge as for personal development and growth, as well as in our business lives and in our businesses as part of our Supersize Your Business group. Now today, celebrating is something I think most of us don't do enough of. I guess some people, there's a small percentage of the population, does too much celebrating and not enough growing and developing and becoming the best version of themselves. And some of us forget to celebrate. We just grind and go and hustle and all those words that I don't really like to associate with my businesses anymore. We sacrifice. Well, no, we don't. We choose and we make choices. And if we're making choices that are in alignment with who we are and who our business is and what it is that we're trying to create in the world, that is not a sacrifice. But I do think that having celebrate as part of our process this year has caused me to at least once a month stop, pay attention to, acknowledge the wins that we're having, the progress we're making to fill the gap between where we are and where we want to be emotionally this month. And by the end of this year, I always set a goal, whichever area of the life framework that we're working on: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, confidence, and that's all of them. Contribution, communication, and confidence. I've got 9 different areas that I've included in my personal life framework and the one that I teach to people all the time now, because it reminds me, and I needed a big wake-up call in this area 15 years ago now. Back in 2010, I had a sudden cardiac arrest because I was not paying attention to all of these different areas and aspects of my life. I learned a 7-part life framework from Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn back literally in the late 1970s to early 1980s. But I was young and foolish back then and not as, I like to think, as wise and open-minded as I am now. And so I didn't really pay attention to it. I applied it here and there when it suited me, but I wasn't doing it in a structured, purposeful way. And that was one of my wake-up calls. I had several other wake-up calls before I realized, hey, I need to create the life that I want to live, create the businesses I want to see in the world. That's my form of controlling what I can control and not worrying about the things that I can't control. So today our topic is, of course, celebration. What are we going to celebrate? Well, it's easy to think about celebrating our wins as we create different milestones between where we are and where we want to be. As I go from fearful to fearless, I'm creating milestones today to say, okay, this is what I'll celebrate. When I achieve this, this is what I'll celebrate. When I achieve this, this is what I'll celebrate. And I like to use a framework. So I'm going to say, let's use what I call the journalistic framework. Other people call it the 5 W's or whatever, but I call it journalistic framework because I like to keep how in there. Who, what, where, when, why, and how, right? The 5 W's and how. Learned that, again, I think I've shared that I have certain tools that I've literally used for decades. They're always in my subconscious. And so whenever I need something to help me in any situation, there's a tool in my personal toolbox, my subconscious toolbox, that will pop to the surface, and then I just use it. And so today I got who, what, where, when, why, and how. How are we going to celebrate? Now, I encourage you to not only celebrate the wins and the milestones, but also the things that don't work and the lessons that you learn from them. Now, if it doesn't work and you quit, don't celebrate that. Please don't celebrate that. But if you do something, it doesn't work, analyze the situation, figure out, well, did I not do it often enough? Did I not do it fast enough? Did I not do it long enough? Did I not, or did we not? And do a little postmortem on it and pull out the lessons learned so that you can tweak and test and try something similar or something totally different again. But don't forget to capture the lessons learned. I have learned that over the decades, the things that have gone wrong for me have been much more forward momentum creating than the things that have gone right according to plan. And you know what? We make plans and some things work and some things don't. And that is determined by how resilient and how willing we are to get back up and brush ourselves off and do something else. But we need to celebrate those times that we flop and we get ourselves up and get moving again. So figure out also how you're going to do that. I would love if you would share in the comments below some of the ways that you and your organization celebrate both wins and lessons learned. I say at least capture those lessons learned so that down the road those mistakes don't repeat themselves. Because I guarantee if you don't learn the lesson, something similar is going to come up and bite you in the tail because you weren't anticipating it. I think that's part of why I'm such a big believer in documenting your everything in your business and capturing the lessons learned as well as the big wins. All right, if I can help you in any way with this, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, do it with you tomorrow.